Bitcoin is selling off seemingly after really positive news on Friday, right? I think people were super happy with the news on Friday. I think it was received very well in general. For people, just for some context, Bitcoin reserve was announced. It was announced that no, the government would not be would not be selling any of the Bitcoin which the Fed already has or the government already has. They would be pursuing or looking to pursue ways to accumulate more, so long as that was done so in uh, a budget neutral way, so that they don't have to spend taxpayer dollars to do that. And then there was also going to be this digital asset stockpile in addition, which, they're going to do an audit, figure out what other assets they're holding. And that's the side of the portfolio that will be like maybe more actively managed. They have some scope to sell those if they need to. So people thought that was pretty decent, I think, in general. However, price action is obviously not followed. I think there's a few reasons for that, which we'll just touch on quickly, and maybe some quotes, which maybe is hitting home the reality of maybe the more broader economic reality at the moment. So I think there's been a significant or a lot of talk about decreased government spend via Doge cuts, decreased spend via decreased involvement in Ukraine. There's obviously the increased tension created from that further uncertainty in geopolitics, which markets clearly do not like. And in general, I think they're being pretty obvious and clear that they want to get rates down, which means that there's going to have to be some hardship. So there are two specific quotes on this, which I think the market is digesting at the moment. Over the weekend, the president said there could be a little disruption when asked about the economy. He said, you can't really watch the stock market. If you look at China, they have a 100-year perspective. We go by quarters. What we're doing is building a foundation for the future. Now, I think everyone probably realistically knows that, yes, they do look at the markets. They're not looking at the markets. So, you take that with a pinch of salt. But I think that is an indication of trying to prepare people for there being some disruption either way. And then the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, said explicitly over the weekend, they're trying to get rates down. Could we see the economy we inherited to start rolling a bit? Sure. And then finally, the market and the economy have become hooked, become addicted to excessive government spending, and there's going to be a detox period. So I think what they're signaling, or the way that they're talking quite clearly, is to prepare people for a period of time where the market does not perform as well as it has before. I think they're trying to prepare people for it not doing as well. So crypto naturally is going to react. And so no matter how bullish the announcement was on Friday, kind of underscoring Bitcoin's importance to, or underscoring Bitcoin's value as part of the digital asset ecosystem, I think we're going to move with the market a little bit here, which is a little bit wants to be risk off, I think, at the moment until things get sorted out. That's the headlines there. Those are my thoughts. Legendary would be curious to hear yours. We've got Stats up on stage as well, and Funky, of course. We'd love to come to you guys as well in a moment.
It's interesting to see this part of very explicitly saying we are trying to get the rates down, which is obviously something that has to be decided by the Fed. And if you then again look at some of the statements that Jay Powell has made last week, he's been saying interest rates are on hold as there's this rise in economic uncertainty. And specifically also mentioned the tariff policies and other economic policies by Trump, which bring a lot of volatility and a lot of quote unquote, especially the trade policy uncertainty around the changes and the likely effects remains high. For that reason, the Fed wants to take a bit more of a patient approach to just wait and see what Trump will do and how that plays out. So we'll definitely see a bit of a power fight or power struggle going on there, completely abstracting away from BTC and cryptocurrency prices, more so going into the actual economics and also into the stock markets. Generally, also, Jay Powell said that the US economy is still looking good, job data, etc., is still looking good. But obviously, now that volatility that we've seen with BTC is also showing quite strongly, actually, in the Nasdaq as well.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I think I agree. There's the presidency and the and Powell are not necessarily aligned, right? I think that's been a battle waiting to happen for a while, since the administration definitely want to get rates down, maybe sooner than they can afford to go there.